10 years ago, I bought a little mountain. This mountain is located in the middle of the rainforest, but it had been totally decimated, totally destroyed by cattle ranchers. Nothing grew. There was not even grass. We made the decision that we wanted to bring back the rainforest.
Welcome to Luxury Travel Innovators. I'm your host, Adam Deflorian. Today, I'm joined by Leo Ghitis, CEO and co-founder of Nayara Resorts at Virtuoso Travel Week in Las Vegas. Leo, thank you so much for joining me on Luxury Travel Innovators here at Virtuoso Travel Week. I greatly appreciate it.
Pleasure being here.
Tell our listeners a little bit about your background with how Nayara came to be and what brought you to the U.S. when you were 17.
I was born and raised in Cali, Colombia. Cali was an amazing place to grow up. Unfortunately, when I got to high school, one of the major drug cartels had established themselves in Cali, and Cali became extremely dangerous. I left Colombia when I was 17. I came to the U.S., thinking that I was going to go back to Colombia soon when things got better. By the time things got better, I was already established and ended up never going back to Colombia. When my children were a little older, they all wanted to go see the place where I was born, but Cali was still very dangerous, and we couldn't take him. My neighbor, this is 17 years ago, my neighbor at the time is from Costa Rica, and she said, "Why don't you go to Costa Rica? Take your children there. It feels like Colombia, it looks like Colombia, but it is completely safe." I went to Costa Rica, and I fell in love with the country. It was truly love at first sight. Costa Rica is an incredible country. Costa Rica was green before that term entered the world's vocabulary. Now everybody is green. And I have to confess that when I went to Costa Rica 17 years ago, I had never heard the word sustainability. It was not something that I cared or even knew about. And the trip to Costa Rica changed my life. It really did. I'm a real estate. I'm not a hotel person.
Yeah.
By background, I'm a real estate. I own a still own it. A development company that luckily does very well, and I decided that I wanted to do something different. My friends and partners in the real estate world always say that I had a midlife crisis, and I probably did. I decided that I wanted to do something that had meaning. I wanted to try to change the world a little bit and have an impact. And Costa Rica has an extraordinary story. Costa Rica is it's an amazing sustainability story. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be part of that story. 2 years later, I was lucky that an opportunity presented itself to get involved with a hotel. So I bought, it's a long story, but I bought the majority interest in a small hotel, 24 rooms, limited service hotel in the middle of Costa Rica.
Okay.
And I loved the business.
What year was this about?
This is 15 years ago. And the rest is history.
Amazing. How old were your kids when you took them to Costa Rica the first time?
They were 10, 12, and 14.
Amazing. And I'm sure they just fell in love with it.
Yeah. It was just incredible.
Zip lines, all the activity, especially for children of that age. I'm sure it was just a blast, right?
Yeah, no, it was very nice.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Nayara being a true family business. I mean, you obviously founded it. You, explored Costa Rica and then, found this opportunity to get into hospitality.
I find it really interesting. when people are asked, is your business a family business? And they always start saying, yes, my children work at the hotel, my wife does, my nephews also work at the hotel. I am very fortunate to work with my 2 children and my wife. But when I say that Nayara is a family business, is because everybody that works for Nayara is part of our family. That's why Nayara is a family business. And it's part of the reason why I got into the business. The purpose of the business is to create opportunity. I mean, all of our hotels are located in rural areas.
Yep.
And in most rural areas, it's difficult to find good,
People.
well-paying jobs.
Yeah.
What we do is, part of our social mission is to create jobs in those areas. A lot of the people that come, most of the people that come to our hotels with no hotel experience.
Got it.
And we give an opportunity to learn the business, to advance, to grow, and make a career out of the business. And I have to confess, when people leave Nayara, I'm totally depressed. Because what we're trying to do is create long-term careers for everybody that works for us.
Got it. Well, and I think you're fortunate in a way, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Latin American culture is such, it's very hospitable. It's, the people are just lovely. I mean, they want to help, to please, to create sort of this memorable experience for somebody, because that's just, it's in their blood.
Yes.
And so...
It varies from country to country.
Sure.
But I would tell you that in general terms, you're right.
Especially Costa Rica, I would think.
Yes, exactly.
Makes sense. You talked a little bit about, sustainability and this green aspect. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you do in regard to sustainable travel and sustainability within Nayara as a whole?
Sustainability is our passion. We are obsessed with sustainability. It will take me a long time to tell you everything that we do. Let me see how I can just do it quickly. So let me start with Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, our 3 hotels are carbon neutral. I'll just tell you quick things that we've done. A hotel that is very close to my heart is Nayara Tented Camp. And I'll tell you the story about Nayara Tented Camp. 10 years ago, I bought a little mountain. This mountain is located in the middle of the rainforest, but it had been totally decimated, totally destroyed by cattle ranchers. Nothing grew. There was not even grass. And what most people do not realize, when you cut the trees, you also kill the root system that keeps the topsoil down. So when it rains, and it rains a lot in the rainforest, this mountain became a river of mud, just mudslides all the time. I used to go up to this mountain and I wanted to cry because there was no wildlife. I mean, you couldn't, there was not even a butterfly. There was no grass. There was absolutely nothing. We made the decision that we wanted to bring back the rainforest. We had no idea how difficult that was going to be. It took us 10 years to do it. And we first had to stabilize the mountain, which meant bring thousands of rocks, big boulders, so that we could create terraces. Then we started bringing plants. We ended up planting more than 40,000 trees and plants.
Holy cow.
Nowadays, it's not a mature rainforest by any stretch of the imagination, but it's full of wildlife. There are monkeys, sloths, all kinds of birds, frogs. It's a real ecosystem. And we ended up building Nayara Tented Camp in the middle of what's now this forest.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and
it's incredible.
Yeah, so let me quickly touch about other hotels. In Panama, Nayara Bocas del Toro is 100% sustainable. It's 30 minutes from the coast in Panama. All the power is generated by solar panels. We collect rainwater, which we purify. In Chile, when we got involved with the hotel in Atacama, the Chilean government does not provide energy to this oasis in the middle of the Atacama Desert. So there was a big diesel plant, which is terrible for the environment. I'm happy to report that this year we are almost done with the installation of solar panels.
Amazing.
We are 70% of our power is generated by those solar panels.
Wow.
In Easter Island is very interesting. There's not enough power generated in Easter Island. Not every family, not every home has access to power. We started installing this year solar panels. And I'm also happy to report that because of our solar panels, we have been able to decrease the power that we use, and now 48 families in Easter Island have power because we no longer need it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I could go on and on and on, but I don't think we have time for it.
I love it.
It would take me a couple hours to tell you all the initiatives that we're doing.
I love it. I was going to ask you a little bit about Nayara Tented Camp and what makes it unique, but I think you've, to a certain extent, touched on that. And so what I'd love to evolve that into is a question as we work with many, many hotels around the world, and typically, right, there's property one, there's the inaugural property to announce something, in your case, Nayara Tented Camp. And then as you grow and you learn, you evolve, right? And you create properties, you fix things that you wish you had done differently, just like building a home or a house. And I'd love to hear sort of your examples of that as you've grown the Nayara brand, right? Yeah. What are the elements that you've evolved and changed, especially being in construction or development?
I'm laughing because when I got in the business, I told you I became a majority owner in a little hotel that was a limited service hotel. We were charging $90 a night. It was 24 keys. And as the brand evolved, the hotel didn't meet Nayara standards anymore. And I loved the hotel. I was very nostalgic about the hotel, but we had to bite the bullet. And last year, we decided to demolish the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first hotel. So we demolished Nayara Gardens.
Okay.
And basically, we demolished it to zero, and we rebuilt the hotel. So as of this year, Nayara Gardens is a brand new luxury hotel. All the rooms have plunge pools. All of them have unobstructed views to the volcano. We have 3 restaurants, 2 bars. And so it's still called Nayara Gardens.
Yeah.
A lot of people came and said, you have to change the name because it's not Nayara Gardens. But I'm just too nostalgic.
To you, it's Nayara Gardens.
For me, it's always going to be Nayara Gardens.
It's the encore of it, just like with Wynn.
Yeah.
I love it. Question around, you talked about that this is a family business, not just because your family works with you, but because of the family culture. And, hospitality in general, once people get into it, they just never leave. I always say it's got to be one of the best industries in the world once you discover it, right? For the fact that travel is extraordinary. It opens minds. It creates sort of this empathy that I don't know if there's anything else that creates the type of empathy that travel does when you go and you experience somebody's culture and you're invited into their home and you eat their food and you understand their culture. And I'm just curious, do you feel like this industry is you're truly passionate about? Do you just love it? Is this just sort of evolved into now it absorbs your day to day and you're there?
Absolutely. I still own my real estate business.
Yeah.
But I'm embarrassed that I don't spend much time in it because I found my real, and I hope my real estate partners are not listening to this podcast, but I found my calling, and people is a big reason. I'll give you an example. In Costa Rica, our 3 hotels are located in an area, in agricultural, and an area with cattle ranches.
Okay.
And we make it a purpose to hire people that come from those farms, from those ranches. These are not always, but typically back-breaking jobs.
Yeah.
They're tough jobs. And they come to Nayara. Most of the time, they've never met a foreign person.
Yeah.
And we develop, I hate the word train. We don't train people. We develop people so that they can grow personally and professionally.
Yeah.
And when we started Nayara, my GM was always European. And when the last European manager retired, the person that reported to him, that it's a person from Costa Rica, one of my favorite people in the world, said, "I'm ready for it." And the GM for 3 hotels in Costa Rica is a tico, how they call people from Costa Rica,
Tico.
that started with us as a receptionist, and he's the best GM we've ever had. And most of the people, and most of the people that work in Costa Rica, for example, learn English at Nayara, learn the business at Nayara, and now travel throughout Central and South America, giving talks and teaching our other hotels how to elevate the level of service. And these are real careers, and we provide long-term opportunities for people.
I love it.
And there's the other element. We also feel a huge responsibility towards the communities where our hotels operate. So we always give preference to suppliers in the area. So the idea is that we are lifting the standard of living in the areas where we have hotels.
I love it. I think I'm going to steal from you the training to development and rename our training programs to people development programs.
There's a license fee for stealing my terms, but
Got it.
okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we won't. I wish I didn't say anything. We should have just done it under the radar.
Okay.
I love it. Would you mind sharing with me any guest profile differences across the portfolio, or is it typically the same sort of guest profile? And if so, what is it?
I am incredibly lucky that we have the most amazing guests. I'll tell you who our guests are not.
Okay.
Our boutique hotels do not appeal. They do not attract the typical guest that wants to sit by the pool, lounge all day, lay under the sun, drink. Those are not our guests.
Okay.
Our guests love nature. They want to be in nature. They are active. They want to walk. They want to hike. They want to explore. They want to learn about different cultures.
Okay.
And they share the same values that we share. They care about sustainability. They care about being socially responsible. I will tell you that that's the typical profile of all the guests that come to our hotel. Probably the only difference, we have 2 hotels, one in Costa Rica and one in Panama, that are adult only.
Okay.
So there you see couples that come for more of a romantic experience.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. What's in the pipeline? Anything new you can talk about?
I cannot talk too much about it, so I'll just talk in general terms.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what I can talk about.
Okay.
We're building 3 new hotels in Costa Rica, 2 in the Guanacaste area, which is the northern part of the country.
Okay.
We're building another hotel. Actually, we just announced it, so I guess I can talk about it, in Manuel Antonio. We are also we're also going to be developing 2 hotels in Mexico, in the Yucatan area.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be developing a new hotel in Chile and 2 new hotels in the rainforest in Puerto Rico. So
A lot in the pipeline.
that's all in the pipeline. Not sure that all of them are going to happen because we're still finalizing getting permits. And where we build hotels, it's difficult to get permits. Very, very difficult to get permits. Let me tell you what is going to happen for sure.
Okay.
We are expanding Nayara Springs, and I am incredibly excited. I'll tell you, let me go back for a little bit. We bought the hotel next door,
Okay.
and we bring hot springs from the Arenal volcano. We bought property on this, not that, well, a little far from the crater, and we bring hot springs to every room in Nayara Springs and tented camp, mostly via gravity. And these hot springs are very different. They're crystal clear. They don't smell, but they have all the good minerals. The property next door to us, much to our surprise, we discovered that it has different kinds of hot springs.
Oh, wow.
And these are hot springs that are very different. They are darker. They have a lot of iron, a lot of sulfur. We're demolishing that hotel. We'll start demolishing in the next few months. And we're going to be building an extraordinary spa. It is a very thick forest. And it's going to be an open spa where you walk through the forest, and there are different pools with different kinds of hot springs, darker hot springs, lighter hot springs, smelly hot springs. So that project will happen.
Okay.
In addition to that, we're building new rooms in Nayara Springs, and these are really neat rooms. They're called Spa Springs Villas.
Okay.
And each villa is a mini spa.
Wow.
So each villa has an oversized plunge pool where you can swim, has also hot springs, has reflexology, cold plunge, steam, sauna, your own private treatment room, a garden where you can do yoga and meditation.
Extraordinary.
So if guests want to go to our new spa, they can go. But if they want to stay in the room, they don't have to go to the spa because the therapist will come to the room. So that's what we're doing in Nayara Springs.
Okay.
And then we're also expanding the tented camp, and we're building tree houses, beautiful tree houses at the level of the branches of the trees.
Amazing. How do you get up to them?
You have to walk up stairs.
I figured. I didn't know if you had some.
You know what? Okay. I take back what I said.
Okay.
Actually, there's a kind of an elevator with pulleys. So you get on that elevator, and someone will pull you up.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And then the three houses are connected.
Very cool. So much of what we've heard about, and you've certainly touched on it, but I want to dive into it just a bit more at Luxury Travel Innovators, is around experiential travel. I mean, it sounds like at its core, Nayara is experiential travel, right? But in the last 24 months, 12 months, last 6 months, right, all you hear about is that people are tired of the overtourism, they're tired of crowded places, and they're looking for authenticity, which of course you nail on the head. They're looking for a reason to travel to that place beyond just the lodging. So experiences, outside of room. What are some of those experiences that you can do at Nayara? Just a couple that are just out of this world kind of stuff.
How many hours do I have?
As long as you want.
Okay, let me try to do it very, very quickly. In Costa Rica,
Yep.
our hotels are located in the rainforest. The wildlife is extraordinary. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere. You just walk around the hotel and you see sloths, different kinds of monkeys. Someone told me, I'm not sure about this, I'm just repeating what someone's told me, that we have 500 species of birds on property. Sounds a little too much, but I'm just repeating what I'm told. If you go to Panama is crazy. In Panama, we have overwater villas where I don't know many hotels on this hemisphere that have overwater villas.
Right.
And we have a fleet of boats, and the captain will actually come all the way to your overwater villa.
Incredible.
And then 20 minutes away, perhaps 30 minutes, there's a collection of little islands that have never been inhabited by human beings. They look the way they were thousands of years ago. And each island is completely different. It's wild. But what I like about my favorite islands, the water is crystal clear. I don't know how you say this word in English. Turquoise? Is that?
Yeah, or azure, or
Yeah, so the water is absolutely turquoise.
Yeah.
And it's full of wildlife. You don't have to go to Bora Bora. You don't have to go to the Maldives. You have it right here on this hemisphere. And you can spend the whole day just visiting different beautiful islands. In Panama, I don't know how much you know about the Atacama Desert. I'll tell you quick points. It is the driest desert in the world.
Wow.
It's drier than the Sahara Desert. Nothing grows. You go there, and it's like stepping on the moon. But what's interesting also, the most important observatories in the world are located in the Atacama Desert because there's almost no light pollution. It's very dry and very high. We just finished it, an observatory. We install a very, very powerful telescope. It's called a 20-inch Newtonian telescope.
Wow.
And our guests can watch the stars. And we have our in-house astronomist. Let me finish with Easter Island. I assume you have not been to Easter Island.
I have not.
Well, you have to go. Easter Island is one of the most fascinating places. There's only one Easter Island in the world.
Okay.
Our hotel fronts the beach where the first inhabitants of Easter Island came from Polynesia. The first Polynesian inhabitants arrived over 1,000 years ago, and they landed in this beach. And this beach is walking distance from our hotel, and just in front of the beach. I'm sure you've heard about the moais, this gigantic. So the moais are right there. I mean, you can walk up to them. These statues are 30 feet tall. They weigh more than 80 pounds. And you just walk from the hotel. And obviously in Easter Island, you can do so many things. So each of our hotels is totally different, and the experiences are just wild.
Considering that we're here at Virtuoso Travel Week, I'm sure travel advisors make up an enormous part of your overall business, since it sounds like, at least from my own knowledge and expertise, right, not many folks know necessarily about all these extraordinary properties, right, and who you are. What do you all do for travel advisors that you think they really appreciate? What makes them, happy to book Nayara?
We do whatever they want us to do for them.
That's
the long and the short. We love travel advisors. We couldn't survive without them. So we owe Everything that we are, we owe our success to them. And again, whatever they want, they get.
Yeah.
As long as legal and ethical.
Of course. And do you, as far as guests, we talked a little about guest profiles, right? Mostly North American guests, would you say?
In Costa Rica, mostly North Americans.
Yep.
In Chile, we get a lot of people from Brazil and a lot of people from Australia and Asia. And in Panama, a combination. We get in Costa Rica about 20% from Europe.
Okay.
And same in Easter Island. In Atacama, mostly Brazil.
Got it. I know that Nayara is guests come to Nayara to escape technology, right? To be with nature, to be with their family, to be with their loved ones. But from a organizational perspective in telling this story, of course, we are all about innovation here at AZDS. And I'm curious to understand what your thoughts, are around your digital guest experience and the, selling the Nayara experience in a visual way online. What are you guys doing there?
Adam, you're a technology guy, so I'm not sure you're going to like my answer.
Fair.
We offer an ultra personalized experience. We use technology for our back of the house, but we really want to make sure that we don't do anything that will discourage human interaction.
Okay. How do you sort of see AI evolving into that?
Similar answer. We do use AI. I'll give you an example. We are incredibly fortunate that all of our hotels have extremely high occupancies, and that presents a problem when it comes to do maintenance. Mm-hmm. We use artificial intelligence to project occupancy, and that allows us to figure out when we'll be able to do maintenance. So, these models are incredible.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they're just crazy because they tell you when different categories of rooms are going to be available, and they tell you, we think that they're going to be available for 2 days. So we schedule our maintenance depending on what this artificial intelligence is telling us.
It's amazing. Yeah, I hear it a lot, right? From an operational perspective, there's many, many tools within, I'm going to call it the AI toolbox because it's evolving daily. It's amazing to see, how there's nothing in our lifetimes that has evolved at the pace that AI is evolving at. It used to be, what's your roadmap for 6 months from now, 12 months, 24 plus? It's like, what's your roadmap for next week? Yeah. Because that's how quickly it's allowing us to evolve. And I think that the best hoteliers are using it to streamline and improve personalized experiences within luxury, but not take away the human connection.
Yeah, I think AI is going to have a huge impact for large hotels.
Yes.
Where operational cost is really important. Mm-hmm. For us, obviously, we care about cost, but it's not our priority. Yeah. Our priority is the guest experience.
Yeah, it's not like here in Las Vegas with 7,000 rooms.
Yes, exactly.
So it's different.
Yeah.
Leo, thanks so much for your time today. I so greatly appreciate it. I always end with 3 rapid-fire questions that I'd love to ask you and
Sure.
get your input on. What personal travel are you most excited about next?
I'm going with my wife to Japan in October.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to Japan, I told you about this spa that we're building in Japan. So I've been looking, where else in the world is there a spa like the one we want to build? And sure enough, not only do they have it in Japan, but it's part of their tradition. It's a 2,000-year tradition. It's almost a religious experience. So we are going to Japan. We're going to be visiting what they call it onsens. Okay. So we're going to be visiting a lot of those onsens to learn from them and get inspired.
Sounds incredible. You'll love it. I love Japan. It's so incredible just culturally. Every aspect of it is amazing. What do you miss about the glamorous days of travel? The show's about innovation, and every day at AZDS, I'm looking at moving forward. I love to pause for a minute and talk to these, wonderful guests like yourself about, if you think about the past in travel, what do you miss?
My children always, it's funny that you ask that question. My children always laugh when I tell them that I miss those times when I was much younger. I used to go to a hotel and I had no idea what I was going to encounter. There was this incredible sense of anticipation. Now you go to a resort, to a hotel, you know everything about it.
True.
You go on that website and everything is there, and then you read reviews.
Yep.
And there are no surprises.
That's very true. Even a 360 tour, everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then last, it's innovation, so we have to talk about it. What innovation in travel doesn't exist today that you think is missing? It doesn't have to be technology. Jan Arnold from Roccoforte said the luggage racks, they don't support large suitcases for when you're traveling internationally. It's always small, right? What do you think doesn't exist today that should?
That's a really, really good and important question. We try so hard to be sustainable. The amount of time, effort, and money that we invest so that our hotels are carbon neutral, the reforestation that we do. And there is this concern that most people have about air travel and carbon emissions. What I'm hoping is that the technology will happen that it will allow planes to be more fuel efficient, hopefully one day also being carbon neutral.
Yeah.
So that we can travel anywhere in the world and not worried that we're not being environmentally careful.
I know they're working on it. There's a company in Colorado called Boom Supersonic that is working closely on it in our backyard. So I agree. That would be amazing, right? To be able to travel and not worry about that, to know that you're being able to explore, which is the best part of life, but not be polluting. Love it.
Exactly.
Leo, thank you so much for joining me.
It was great being here. I hope you come and visit.
I will. It's next on my list after this conversation.
Terrific.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of Luxury Travel Innovators. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. See you next time.